Newly leaked footage of Lil Jeff's final moments has sent the internet into a frenzy, revealing chilling new details about the night he was gunned down. What was once thought to be reckless overconfidence now looks like something else entirely, and the truth behind why Jeff was the only one who didn't make it out is even more shocking. But if the footage itself wasn't wild enough, what happened after the shooting took things to a whole new level. Footage shows Lil Jeff shot near Bloodhound members. The streets of Chicago were already talking, but the new footage that just surfaced put everything in a whole different light. Up until now, the narrative had been that Lil Jeff was moving recklessly, too eager to chase an op down, and it ultimately cost him his life. But what this new angle reveals is that Jeff wasn't just running wild, he was actually sticking close to his own shooters. The only reason he got caught up the way he did was because he was the only one who followed Man Man toward the door. Lil Jeff and his right-hand man Q50 mission, one of many that had built their ruthless reputation. The Bloodhound leaders weren't just feared in they rapped about their get-backs, their bodies, and the war story legends in their set. But just like he always said in his lyrics, Jeff was more about action than and on June 2024, the action caught up to him. Newly surfaced surveillance footage captures the crucial moment when Q50 and another shooter pulled up outside a house on South Rhodes Avenue. It was familiar territory, a street they had flexed about spinning on plenty of times before. As soon as the car stopped, out, gun in hand, and started letting off shots at a man wearing bright yellow shorts, later identified as Man Man. Man Man ducked behind a car, then bolted up a porch into a house with Jeff right behind him, still shooting. This was straight out of the lyrics Jeff used to spit, chasing an op into their own home, pressing them in their last moments. But what he didn't expect was that Man Man wasn't alone. The second he hit the steps, fire erupted from inside the house. In an instant, Jeff was knocked back, his body crashing onto the ground at the bottom of the porch. The footage then showed hit repeatedly while he's already down, as if the shooters wanted to make sure he wasn't getting back up. The camera angle adds more context to the chaotic scene. It shows Q50 and the other shooter behind Jeff also advancing towards the house but keeping more. Q50 even turned and started firing at a passing car. Why, nobody knows for sure. Something was linked to Man Man, possibly a look at another shooter who just happened to be rolling by when the drama unfolded. Then there's the moment when the getaway driver realizes Jeff is down for good. Instead of trying to get to him, he steps out, sees Jeff's body on the ground, and immediately makes the call. It's over. The crew scrambles back to the car, leaving Jeff behind as shots keep raining down on his lifeless body. But what's even crazier is what happens after. In a move, Q50 and the other man act back, risking it all to scoop up Jeff's body and rush him to the hospital. A still image from the hospital's security cameras later leaked, showing Q50 and the other man carrying Jeff inside, desperate to save him, but already too late. Reports quickly spread across social media, with Twitter buzzing and Reddit's shy subreddit blowing up with theories and Many pointed out how Jeff and the Bloodhounds clearly underestimated their enemies and got outgunned. Others debated whether Jeff was just too aggressive, moving too fast when he should have been more calculated. But one thing is for sure, this wasn't just another drill gone wrong. This was a message sent loud and clear that in Chicago's gang wars, even the most feared shooters aren't untouchable. Lil Jeff's burial. The day after Lil's tragic death, the city was still in a frenzy. His name flooded social media, and conversations about him dominated the streets. While some were leaving, others were scheming, and many were simply waiting to see how things would unfold. For Jeff's family, the pain was unbearable. His father took to posting old pictures of Jeff alongside his half-brothers with a caption that spoke volume. The world. His brother, Jay Boogie, was rumored to be spiraling, unable to process the loss. Meanwhile, Q50, who was there when the shots rang out, refused to let emotions consume him. Instead, he made it clear that he was following through on what to do. Whilst others struggled to grasp the reality that happened, Jeff's closest friends scrolled through old pictures, shaking their heads in disbelief. To them, he had been untouchable. Now, he was just another name added to Chicago's long list of fallen drill legends. Vert, another Bloodhound affiliate, appeared in an interview with DJU, visibly intoxicated, his words slurring as he spoke on Jeff's passing. He didn't say much, just that life moves forward and Jeff would live on through them. But to those who understood the code, his words carried a deeper meaning. This wasn't over.
It's brother, it's my twin, shit. You know, I don't feel that shit hurt. It's my brother, you know? Yeah. But it's like, I can't stop. For what? What I'ma stop for? They want me to be stopped, they want me, you know? Yeah. Well, this shit don't stop. Shit all gonna still go on. Brother gonna live through us.
A vigil and balloon release followed soon after, with red balloons floating into the sky as people gathered to pay their respects. Yet even amid mourning, tension loomed heavy in the air. The very next day, on June 10th, a Bloodhound member made a bold statement. Even their enemies had to acknowledge Jeff's impact, but he didn't stop there. He hinted at retaliation, making it clear that Bloodhound wasn't letting this go. Then came another social media post, this time from Jeff's father. His message left people divided. Let it be known y'all didn't get him. He came trying to get y'all, and what happened, happened. But the saga continues. Some shook their heads, wondering how a father could speak about his son like a fallen soldier. Others believed it confirmed what they already knew. Jeff was raised in this life, and this was always how it was going to end. By June 18th, 2024, the cycle of violence persisted. A Bloodhound member claimed responsibility for retaliatory action. The message was clear. Jeff's death wouldn't go unanswered. Then, on June 22nd, Lil Jeff's funeral took place. Images flooded social media almost instantly. Photos of flower arrangements, the funeral program, and even snapshots of Jeff lying in his casket spread rapidly. Some mourners took home buttons from the service with his alias, the Reaper, a name that felt fitting given his legacy. His girlfriend, Peyton, made her presence felt in a subtle but powerful way, adjusting the floral arrangements to drop the Y, leaving only his street name. Despite the street narratives, the funeral program painted a different image of Jeff. It didn't highlight the drill rapper, the shooter, or the street legend. It focused on the child who once had dreams beyond the trenches. The program spoke of Jeff as a happy, intelligent kid who loved basketball, music, and video games. It emphasized his deep love for family, his bond with his niece Jala, and the relationship he shared with Peyton. The program concluded with a haunting line. Thank you for coming to his last concert. In a poetic way, his music had been a soundtrack to his life. Now in his final moments, the city watched as if it were a closing performance. But peace wasn't part of Jeff's story, not in life and not in death. Almost immediately, rumors of a funeral altercation began swirling. Some downplayed it, saying it was just minor tension. Others claimed it was much deeper. Reports suggested that the confrontation involved Jeff's girlfriend and a woman alleged to be his side chick. Video clips surfaced online showing women shouting and pushing each other, though the exact cause of the drama remained unclear. For those who had followed Jeff's life, the chaos at his funeral wasn't surprising. Even in death, conflict seemed to follow him. The Bloodhound versus Trap City feud. In the gritty streets of Chicago, the war between the Bloodhounds and Trap City had been brewing for years, but by 2023, it had reached a point of no return. This wasn't just about music, social media beef, or territory. This was about bodies, betrayal, and a thirst for revenge that wouldn't be satisfied until one side was completely wiped out. At one point, these gangs weren't even enemies. Bloodhound, Trap City, Drill City, and several other cliques, including 400 East MTV 079 and Chris World, once operated under a loose alliance known as Bloodhound 0679. It was a brotherhood built on mutual enemies, respect, and survival. But as with most street packs, it only took one incident to turn allies into mortal enemies. That breaking point came in early 2023 when a member of the gang, allegedly Lil Jeff, snatched a chain from a Trap City affiliate, Trap City Carter. The chain, engraved with 67 stalking, wasn't just jewelry, it was a symbol of power, a badge of honor representing Trap City's dominance.
They did.
So, okay.
They know what they did.
So, okay, the Bloodhounds, y'all was cool.
Everybody got a that was my homie. He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my homie chain.
Trap City took that as the ultimate sign of disrespect. A stolen chain meant weakness. A stolen chain meant you were food. And in the streets, you only had two options when something like that happened. You either got it back or you got revenge. The move left Trap City feeling betrayed, especially when Bloodhound and other allied cliques didn't intervene to return the chain. Seeing this as a sign of disloyalty, Trap City severed all ties with the alliance and declared war. From that moment on, Bloodhound and Trap City were no longer allies. They were sworn enemies. Once the war lines were drawn, it didn't take long before the first major casualty fell. On March 16, 2023, Zmony, a Bloodhound affiliate and cousin to both Lil Jeff and Q50, was posted up inside a car on East 79th Street when a group of Trap City members rolled up on him. The car was sprayed with bullets. Zmony was hit 29 times. Rumors swirled that someone close to Zmony had set him up, dropping his location to Trap City. Regardless of how they found him, the hit sent shockwaves through Bloodhound, especially for Lil Jeff, who had just lost one of his closest relatives in the war. Lil Jeff wasn't the type to let a death go unanswered. In June 2023, just 3 months after Zmony was killed, he reportedly caught Leal, a beloved Trap City member, lacking in an Uber. Jeff didn't hesitate. He walked up and let the gun sing. Local ABC 7 News covered the incident, speaking with residents who had witnessed the shooting firsthand. One witness recalled that while police reported 8 bullet holes in the car window, she swore she heard over 20 shots ring out. This raised speculation about the type of firearm used, suggesting it may have been a fully automatic or a high-capacity weapon capable of of unleashing rapid fire.
I knew it was shots. And like I said, I was in my bedroom, and I kind of ran like on the side of my bedroom, on the other side of the wall, because, you know, bullets don't have eyes.
Leal's death was a huge loss for Trap City, and Bloodhound made sure to let their enemies know. Jeff and his crew took to social media, dropping disses, laughing in IG lives, and even mentioning Leal in drill songs. The disrespect was blatant, and it made one thing clear: this war wasn't cooling down anytime soon. Just 2 months later, on August 31st, 2023, the Bloodhound spun the block again. This time, the target was Glendale, an alleged Trap City member chilling at a Clark gas station on 67th and Eberhart. Out of nowhere, the shooters pulled up and let it rip. Glenn took multiple shots and barely made it out alive. That same night, Chicago was in chaos. 4 people got hit in Woodlawn, including a 4-year-old child caught in the crossfire. Despite his injuries, Glenn survived. The next day, he hopped on social media thanking everyone who checked in on him. But he wasn't just there for gratitude. He had a message for his enemies. And let's be real, that was aimed straight at Bloodhound and Drill City. The war wasn't slowing down. It was just getting started. By early 2024, the war had reached new heights, and the body count kept rising. On January 26, 2024, 2 Nitty Block brothers tied to Trap City, Monterio Monty Drench Williams and Robert Lil Rob Boston, were the next to get caught in the crossfire.
The BKN or Jungle would eventually go sour after members of the BKN would allegedly turn on them and rob Jeff for some watches, with BKN then, according to Chiracologists, hopping on Instagram Live to gleefully show their alleged $50,000 bounty and the 2 guns that were used to take them.
Word on the street is that BKN members caught Jeff slipping, stripping him of 2 watches and an iced out chain. But they didn't just take the loot, they made a spectacle out of it. According to College's Popping on Instagram Live, the crew went online to flex their so-called $50,000 bounty, grinning for the camera while flashing the same 2 burners they allegedly used in the robbery. The attack was brazen, a broad daylight ambush that left both brothers dead before they could even react.
Somebody get shot. Hey, put that
Security cameras captured the whole thing, a clear sign that whoever did it wasn't scared of getting caught. After the hit, Lil Jeff went on IG with cryptic posts, hinting that he knew exactly what went down. Some said he was indirectly claiming responsibility, others believed he was just stirring the pot to keep his ops paranoid. Either way, it was clear, Bloodhound wasn't letting up. With so many of Trap City's top members getting taken out, Lil Jeff became public enemy number 1. His reputation as a fearless shooter and drill rapper was growing, and his music only added fuel to the fire. Tracks like Double Trouble and Street Confessions turned into anthems for the war, with Jeff seemingly rapping about real-life murders. Fans and the streets alike dissected every lyric, trying to connect the dots between his bars and the ongoing beef. But the fame came with consequences. It put an even bigger target on his back. In an attempt to send a direct message to Lil Jeff, his ops went after one of his closest friends, Lil Squirrel. Trap City members caught him slipping, and just like that, Jeff lost another one of his right-hand men. Despite his reputation as a stone-cold stepper, Lil Jeff showed a rare moment of emotion after Squirrel's death. He took to Instagram, saying his friend was innocent, not even a gang member, and that his enemies were so emotional they'd kill anybody when they mad. It was a rare glimpse into the pain and loss behind the street life. Even the hardest shooters felt the weight of losing loved ones. Lil Squirrel's murder didn't slow Jeff down. It only fueled his desire for revenge. He doubled down on his street activity, continuing to diss his ops in music and on social media. At this point, the streets were a battlefield. Ambushes, drive-by shootings, and Instagram taunts kept the war alive, with both sides looking for the next opportunity to one-up each other. And then, it finally happened. On June 8th, 2024, Lil Jeff was killed. Even after Jeff's death, the streets didn't get quiet. If anything, the Bloodhound versus Trap City feud only intensified. Bloodhound affiliates vowed revenge, Trap City members mocked Jeff online, and new names got added to the hit list. Bloodhounds avenged Lil Jeff. Lil Jeff's death wasn't just a loss, it was a declaration of war. And if Trap City thought they could mock his name without consequence, they were dead wrong. From the moment the footage of Jeff getting gunned down hit the internet, Trap City was on full disrespect mode. Trap City Rob led the charge, throwing shots at Jeff's name like he had just won a championship. His crew followed suit, hopping on Instagram Live, making jokes, and even reenacting the shooting to humiliate Jeff's legacy.
You know, the fans be like, man, get their ass on the porch.
But they didn't stop at Jeff. They dragged Q50 into it too, mocking how he failed to protect his right-hand man. Some even went as far as calling him out for running instead of shooting back, making it seem like Jeff died because his so-called closest homie left him hanging. However, of all the people laughing, Trap City Carter had no business running his mouth.
Cuba 50 slide right here, man. This is what they call him slide now, man. We slide, he's right there.
Hey, this is what he did on the couch.
Because if not for his chain-snatching drama with Lil Jeff, this entire feud never would have happened in the first place. Instead of laying low, Carter joined in on the mockery, acting like he couldn't be touched. That turned out to be a fatal mistake. October 19th, 2024 was the day the Bloodhounds struck back. Trap City Carter was chilling in Bronzeville, thinking it was just another night outside. But the Bloodhounds had other plans. Around 8:41 p.m., two masked shooters hopped out of a white car and started letting off rounds. Carter barely had time to react before bullets ripped through his chest, sending him collapsing to the ground. Witnesses saw the shooters hop back in the car and speed off before anyone could even process what had just happened. By the time paramedics arrived, Carter was still clinging to life, but his injuries were too severe. They rushed him to UChicago Medical, where doctors fought to save him, but it was too late. The medical examiner later confirmed the news. Chevelle Trap City Carter was dead. The streets knew exactly who was responsible. This wasn't just a random hit, this was revenge. While the city was still processing the hit, Q50 didn't waste any time celebrating. Hours after Carter's death, he posted on Instagram, "Now Lil Jeff and Lil Scoom can rest now." It didn't take a detective to read between the lines. This was a victory lap. But not everyone was convinced that Bloodhound pulled the trigger. Trap City Taro hopped online, saying another hood did the job for them. In a heated IG rant, he claimed, "On my dead brother, niggas ain't ever put in their own work. Remember that. Niggas been needing help, and this shit not finna go well for none of y'all. LOL. Watch how niggas croak." Taro made it clear he wasn't letting this slide. Carter's death was already a major loss for Trap City, but the Bloodhounds weren't satisfied. Just 1 week later, on the same day Carter was being buried, his family suffered another devastating blow. His sister, Romesha Turner, was gunned down while leaving his funeral. The attack happened at 12:01 p.m. in Dixmoor, right after the funeral procession left St. Mark's Church. Romesha, driving a white Jaguar SUV, was part of the convoy escorting her brother's body to his final resting place. Suddenly, gunfire erupted. Multiple shots tore through her vehicle, causing her to lose control and crash into a house. When police arrived at the scene, they found Romesha slumped over the wheel, dead from multiple gunshot wounds. A single shoe lay on the pavement, a chilling symbol of how quickly life can be taken away. She was rushed to UChicago Medicine Ingalls Memorial, but she didn't make it. 2 deaths in 2 weeks. Trap City Carter and his sister, both gone. The city was in shock. Some saw it as another tragic cycle of violence, while others called it justice. Social media exploded with reactions, but one post summed up the pain best. "Murdered her brother, then murdered her at her brother's funeral. Another one of us killed by our own black man." It didn't matter what side you were on. The message was clear. The Bloodhounds weren't just getting back for Lil Jeff. They were making a statement, and the war, far from over. Meanwhile, despite contradictory rumors, words on the street were that Lil Jeff's right-hand man, Q50, was the mastermind behind the deaths of Trap City Carter and his sister. Shockingly, it looked like the law had finally caught up with Q50 when the rapper was arrested in September 2024. Q50 was found in possession of a firearm equipped with a silencer and extended magazines, along with a stash of cocaine, marijuana, and other drugs. While initial speculation suggested he faced murder charges or other serious allegations, most counts were dismissed, leaving him convicted solely for unlawful use of a weapon, UUW. Q50 was sentenced to 1 year behind bars for his unlawful use of a weapon charge, but there are rumors his time behind bars might be extended. Word on the streets is that Q50's lyrics, his ties to the Bloodhounds, and his alleged involvement in the shooting that took down his own homie, Lil Jeff, could come back to haunt him. If the feds dig deeper, this 1 year bid could turn into something way longer. And let's keep it a buck. Q50's arrest might have saved his life, Loki. Cook County Jail? That's a death sentence for someone like him. Dude's got ops on ops, and you already know the streets don't forget. If he knocked off 10 dudes, 5 of their people are probably in that jail, one source said. Instead, they shipped him out to Stateville, where he's looking at 6 to 8 months if he keeps his head down. With all this heat around him, Q50 is looking like a prime target for a RICO case. For those who don't know, RICO, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, is the feds' go-to move when they want to take down entire gang networks. They don't just come for one dude, they come for the whole crew, tying together crimes like murder, drug trafficking, and even the music if they can prove it's part of the operation. And Q50, his lyrics, his alleged ties to the Bloodhounds, and the rumors of his involvement in multiple murders make him a walking RICO case waiting to happen. But even behind bars, Q50's influence is still running the streets. For now, Q50's posted up in Stateville, doing time on a gun charge, just a 1 year bid, but you already know the streets ain't sleeping. The chatter's loud, and everyone's asking the same questions. What's next for the Bloodhound legend? Are the feds cooking up more charges? Could they use use his own lyrics, those raw, unfiltered bars about the blocks, the hits, and the gang politics, to slap him with a RICO case? And real talk, what's the present state of the Bloodhound Gang gonna look like without Q50 holding it down? For more content like this, click on the video showing on your screen now.